Thank you, Norma. And as we prepare to receive Patty's message, I will sing this song. This one is one of mine. It's called Healing Peace. There is someone out there who's felt like life's unjust and unfair, and that no matter what is said or done, nothing will ever change and no one cares. There is someone out there trying desperately not to drown in debts, responsibilities, and obligations. It seems there's no one there and no help around. I surrender in prayer, oh rest, weary soul, bring them peace, healing peace. I surrender in prayer, oh rest, weary soul, bring them peace, healing peace. There is someone out there lost in the spiraling madness of the mind, suffering with identity, trauma, depression, dementia. If peace you seek, then peace you'll find. There is someone out there. Numbness colors everything a certain shade of blue. Rest your cares and your weary heart. In the silence it awaits for you. I surrender in prayer, oh rest, weary soul, bring them peace, healing peace. I surrender in prayer, oh rest, weary soul, bring them peace, healing peace. Would you sing for me? Peace, healing peace, peace, healing peace. Oh, peace, peace, healing peace. Love, love, healing love. Love, healing love. Joy, joy, healing joy. Joy, healing joy. Bring them peace, healing peace. Here's Patty.
Great. That was awesome. Do you all feel like Deidre just took you to church? All right. I got to do my own props here. Okay, good morning, everyone. My gosh, it's so... Okay, this has got to change. There. That's more like it for little people. All right, so I'm so glad to be here to do this with all of you, and I'm so glad that you're able to join me. Let's just all take a breath and breathe God together for a moment. So today's talk is reclaiming peace in a fear-filled world. And when I wrote that, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to stumble over that fear-filled thing. But here we are. So when I think back on my life and the times when fear gripped me, an early memory came to mind. You know I'm always going to tell a story. I remembered that my brothers and sisters and me would get 25 cents to go to the Sunday afternoon movies. 25 cents. Long time ago. We would have our typical Sunday after church formal meal, collect our 25 cents, and then we'd walk to the theater. It was a small town that I was born and raised in. It was always a double feature. Now, we never paid much attention to the titles of the movies because we just went where they told us to go. So one Sunday, the double feature was Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It was wonderful. I loved it. The second movie, I kid you not, was The Seven Brides of Dracula. When the second feature started with a hand coming up out of the dirt in a dark cemetery plot, my younger sister Eileen and I bolted for the lobby. We were met there by this huge, imposing frame of Mr. Nyhold. He was the theater owner. It was almost like he was expecting us. He sent us back into that movie, telling us that it was all fantasy, all of it's fantasy. And Eileen and I sat there through that movie with our coats over our heads, listening to everyone around us screaming. That fear stuck with me, and to this day, I'll tell you, I don't do horror. I don't watch it. I don't read it. If there's even a hint of it, I'm out the door. So it's a fear that stuck with me. But today's message is about reclaiming peace in our fear-filled world, how to identify fear, and what to do with it. No matter where you stand in today's world, we can easily perceive threats all around us, particularly with so many who intentionally feed fear. News and social media, politicians, educators, and yes, religions. This morning I want to look at dealing with fear from a spiritual perspective. Like every other emotion we have, we cannot bypass or avoid fear because it will haunt us. We must try to understand it and deal with it. In our vision statement each Sunday, we state that we actively discern and affirm the spiritual truths taught by Jesus, our way shower, all great spiritual masters. So let's walk with that a little bit and examine how fear is dealt with several spiritual disciplines. Christians look to Jesus. Now, you all know the story of when he and the disciples were out on a boat and the storm was raging. Jesus was taking a little nap. And they woke Jesus up in the panic. The disciples woke Jesus up. He woke up because they were all panicked and going all over the place. He didn't calm the raging storm first, but he did tell those guys to calm down. They were with him, and everything was okay. It is important to remember that he did not stop the raging storm first, not until the disciples settled down and aligned with spiritual peace. When they all returned to trust, then the storm was calmed. We have storms of all sorts raging around us these days. Finding and trusting the inner peace, that's ours to claim for easing our fears. Buddha taught, true fearlessness is not the absence of a biological response, but a profound disidentification with it. And I really like that. Disidentification doesn't mean we ignore it. It means we find a safe way to engage with it. When the conflicts of the external world happen, disidentify with them. And don't let them rob your inner peace, break spiritual trust, or cause hopelessness. We see it everywhere around us. Muslims believe that only Allah can harm or benefit a person, and in believing that, it reduces the fear of worldly threats. On the surface of that statement, the image of God might be a little too much angry, bearded, white God guy in the sky. But there is an unpolluted truth that the divine power is more potent than whatever we fear in the manifest world. New Thought teaches that divine power is within each one of us. Hinduism teaches that fear is largely viewed as a temporary detachment from one's true divine nature. Again, another spiritual reflection about addressing fear from the power of our own inner divinity. All these have one thing in common. When we trust the divine presence in our lives and connect to our inner higher power, our emotions will be in alignment with spiritual truth. We can learn to deal with fear by first identifying it and naming what caused it. One of my study books on anxiety and fear says, the way we think directly affects how we feel. So changing the way we think can help change how we feel. We really need to be aware of our thoughts. Along with that, we can embrace fear as part of our spiritual evolution, resolving our lack of trust in divine guidance and divine order, and conducting our lives by responding from the inside out rather than the outside in. If we believe that there is separation between spiritual and secular, which I don't, and you all know, you hear me talk about it all the time. It's not one of my beliefs. Then fear can get hold of us and keep us hostage. In addressing fear from a spiritual perspective, we access a higher power for understanding, and one that moves us to self-realization and into the support of our faith. You may have heard me say this before, but during my spiritual direction training, I read a definition of faith that really resonated with me. Faith is not something that you have. It is something you are in, a relationship. My faith is the relationship I am in with the source that created me, and thus with the divinity created sacredness of my own being. It connects to my thoughts when I need a little wisdom and guidance, which is pretty often, and through all my challenges. When I trust that relationship to never fail me, I know it can carry me through fears to a place of peace. Emily Cady wrote Lessons in Truth, a unity course of 12 lessons in practical Christianity. Lesson 4 is about denial that comes from error thinking. She said that when error beliefs arise in the human mind, it can cause all sorts of trouble. Some of you have fond memories of Kevin Driscoll, who was a much-loved member of this community for many years. He is now in his life after life existence, and many of us miss his humor and wisdom and kindness. He was just an amazing person. He had a saying for error thinking that I just love. He called it stinkin' thinkin'. Isn't that great? When we let fear interfere with the strength of our faith, we just might be stinkin' thinkin', denying our perfect connection to the source of all things. When we connect with faith from the sacredness of our being, fear cannot hold us hostage. It doesn't mean that fear won't show up. It doesn't mean that it won't carry pain and sorrow, but it does mean that we have a way to move through it more peacefully. Fear is a natural reaction to perceived threats. So it's important to validate threats and qualify perceived threats with self-talk. That's what it takes, self-talk. Byron Katie's work reminds us to ask ourselves several questions. 1, is it true? 2, can you absolutely know that it's true? 3, how do you react when you believe that thought? And 4, who would you be without that thought? Who would we be without fear? Those questions guide us to appropriate responses. Now, Mr. Nyhold was right about both of those movies being fantasy, but for me, my young brain didn't have enough life experience to sort out happy singing rats from thirsty bloodsuckers. So with age, wisdom, and evolving spiritual maturity, we are able to process threats in a healthy way. It is important when we are in chaos and fear to find the discipline that helps us back up from it, identify it, and then discover how it is separating us from divine trust and our own divine nature of inner strength, our faith. Identifying what we are afraid of and our emotions around whatever that is the key. Is key to shifting from focusing on the external threat to instead focusing on the internal strength that we all have. The internal strength is the seat of wisdom for our spiritual power. In considering all kinds of fears, I'm going to go do research, but in considering all different kinds of fear, I did a little research and want to share with you about several different types of fear. There are many, but this gives us a starting point for identifying what we're dealing with. So there's instinctual fear. Everybody knows this one. It's an immediate threat response. Our senses go off like an alarm, and our first reaction is to perceive whether our safety is being threatened. In that immediate moment, our instincts kick in and tell us to freeze, flee, or fight. You've all heard that. When we have an instinctual fear and a biological response, we will most likely shift into high gear and run and consider any spiritual questions later after we know that we're safe. Unlike instinctual fear, these next fears are ones that we can learn to deal with differently. There's social fear, anxiety around social interactions. It is the fear of being scrutinized in social situations, leading to intense worry, self-consciousness, and fear of embarrassment. Social fear would be eliminated if the world learned to stop judging. Or when we find the inner strength to disallow unnecessary criticisms to impact our sense of self-worth. In the 80s, there was this popular saying that helped me deal with my own issues of worthiness. The saying was everywhere at the time, and I was talking with Charlie about it not long ago, and he told me that Rev Beth used to say it all the time. God doesn't make junk. Principle 2, self-esteem. All human beings are made in the image of God, and so our core essence is also goodness and love. God doesn't make junk. There is existential fear, life questions, particularly in times of transition and change and when we're worrying about our purpose and existence in life, in relationships with family and friends, job and career concerns, our health and the health of those close to us, financial considerations, that's just a few of them. And we see a lot of it happening in our world right now around personal freedom. If we look to our spirituality, we can approach this kind of fear by reflecting on our personal values and finding meaning even when times are trying. Basically, trusting in divine order. There's phobic fears. There's lions and tigers and bears, oh my. And let's throw in a few vampires, spiders, and snakes, right? When we first moved into our home here, I found that there were copperhead snakes on our property. I had every intention of buying snake boots and never setting in my foot in my yard without them being on my feet. Instead, we bought snake away pellets that would send snakes in another direction. We have a perimeter that goes around our property. The first time Jerry and I went to the store to buy these pellets, he put only one bag in our cart. I thought, are you kidding me? And I raked off the shelf and I filled that cart up with everything that I could fit in it. Not the best or the cheapest way to deal with fear. In the research, there isn't an exact number, but it's noted that there are over 550 recognized phobias. There are a bunch of scriptural references about dealing with phobias, and all of them respond to phobic fear by trusting in God. And that's what I'm doing, because I'm getting better with I'm making a little bit of progress with my fear of snakes. So then there's cultural fears. Societal beliefs or stigmas impacting a sense of acceptance and personal freedom. Again, if we would stop judging, learn the practice of oneness, we could probably eliminate this fear too. But until then, it is what it is. we can work on it. Most of you know that Jerry and I are members of the local, I probably told you this before, but we're both members of the local chapter of the NAACP. And when they have been at gatherings where they prayerfully address their fears about safety and equality, it is with a passionate intensity that I don't even know if I can put it into words, but they have a passionate intensity of belief and trust that moves my heart and touches my soul every time I hear them. Their fear is sent directly to the Creator with a fervent belief and trust that divine energy will see them through anything. It is so powerful. Even though our theological understandings and beliefs are different, I can't help but be touched by their deep and beautiful faith and their sense of peace and acceptance that I've witnessed when they take their fears directly to God. It's beautiful. I also found a couple articles about the fear of reprisal. If you grew up or still live with an image of a punishing God, or had a childhood environment of uncertainty about safety, this kind of fear is easily triggered. I worked with a woman once who was a former nun. She would share a lot of her stories about convent life with me, some of them funny and some of them not so funny. But she told me about this time when she and several other nuns decided to take in a Saturday afternoon movie. They all piled into the car, got their tickets, bought their popcorn, and took their seats. Shortly after the movie started, they dropped their popcorn and they ran out of that theater. She said they all lived in fear that anyone would find out that all of them had walked into a triple X-rated movie in broad daylight. Fear of reprisal can lead to hiding the truth. In uncertain relationships, we can be very fearful about consequences. Addressing this from a spiritual context starts with understanding our image of God and seeing God energy as all loving and all forgiving. It's people because they've been taught to be that way who are not loving and not forgiving. I recently read a book written by John Fugelsang. I think that's how you say his name. But it's titled, wait, you hear this, Separation of Church and Hate, the Sane Person's Guide to Taking Back the Bible from Fundamentalists, Fascists, and Flock-Fleecing Frauds. The title drew me in. Now, I will tell you that it is not a book for everyone. The author is a well-educated writer who is also a comedian with a gift for sarcasm that smacks hard. He hits sensitive topics with a no-bars-hold approach that repudiates some of the biblical propaganda that intentionally creates fear and incites people to hatred by people who have been taught to not be loving and not be forgiving. This book put me into a deep reflection about the times we are living in, times that build fear and threaten universal peace and harmony, all done with Scripture as a weapon for separation and hatred. It has turned many people away from treasures of sacred texts. And one of the reasons this book appealed to me so deeply is because I've had to work to not be one of those people turned away. My belief is that within every human being, every one of us, there is an innate spirituality that needs nurturing and nourishment. It is one of the main reasons why I became a spiritual director. Nurturing and nourishment meant that I needed to examine my fear and anxiety to stop flinching when someone quoted Scripture and or talked about God, Jesus, and even prayer. Fugelsang's book describes abuses, misuses, misinterpretations, and yes, lies. And it was a reminder to me that we really can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. He validates so much of what we believe in unity about compassion and forgiveness, love and oneness. And his language includes God, Jesus, and the Bible to make it so. My grade school was right next door to our church, and I remember sometimes going in and sitting completely by myself in front of the cross with Jesus hanging on it. Not exactly a pretty sight for a young kid, but all alone, no one was there to tell me what to believe about that man, or instruct me about the evil I was capable of, or make me fearful of anything. As a matter of fact, I can still remember the peacefulness and complete feeling of safety to just sit there in the uninterrupted silence, alone. I sometimes wonder when I gave that connection away. But what's most important now is that I'm finding it again. In doing that, I'm disidentifying with old fears and beliefs and reclaiming my peaceful relationship with a more loving, generous God, a morally courageous Jesus who I want to emulate, and a belief in the power of prayer. It is time to really educate ourselves and understand that losing spiritual freedom is about living in a fear that someone is trying to take it away. Talking about God, Jesus, or interpreting scriptures to guide us rather than abuse us nurtures our spirituality. I am determined to believe with absolute certainty that no one can take from me what I'm not willing to give. I will never again allow fear to take away my power to find the best, whatever is available for me to learn and grow. I'm connecting to Scripture in more meaningful ways. I've sometimes read the Upanishads. I find interesting and loving quotes from the Quran, and love some of the beautiful Buddhist teachings. Everything has answers, and nothing has all the answers. The opposite of faith is certainty. And I'm going to say that again. The opposite of faith is certainty. Todd has shared this with us in multiple messages. If we need certainty, there are spiritual paths out there that will give it, with no uncertain terms. However, building trust in the sacred unknown will build deeper and honest faith. Others may not have the freedom to know their own power to learn and discern, but all of us here, we do. One of the most difficult and significant fears we all experience is the fear of the unknown. When I stopped to reflect on this fear, I was amazed at how often I caught myself in it. Countless times I've sat in deep anxiety, wondering what the outcomes would be for situations I have absolutely no control over, and creating would-be stories around possible outcomes. Some of those projected outcomes are happy, and others, there is an experience of fatigue in trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out something I have no way of knowing. I can't predict the future, and I'm living in the present. Our remedy for this kind of fear is to leave certainty behind and build trust that whatever is happening, we have the strength to handle it. Trust that we will help each other, and trust that the belief of unity's first principle, God is, not some of the time, not when we've earned it or it feels good, but always God is. I am in a faith relationship with that God. That faith and trust do not promise easy street. It only promises us that will be with us. That is the pillar of power that is peace overcoming fear. This morning I read from Mark Nepo's book, Things That Join the Sea and Sky, Field Notes on the Living. In it he talks about his fear when he was dealing with cancer. He wrote this: "At the bottom of every fear, when I could reach it, was my want not to die. I think all fear unravels to our want to be here. Ultimately, that is our biggest fear. For me personally, my strength against that kind of fear is my faith. My daily living is about facing fear with faith and deepening my trust in divine existence. We reclaim peace in a fear-filled world when we trust the faith relationship that we are in with God energy, believing it is present at all times and through all challenges. So how do we start to change the patterns and programs of our life to better meet and deal with fear? There's a poem by David White titled, Start Close In. It offers some suggestions, and I share it with you this morning. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing close in, the step you don't want to take. Start with the ground you know, the pale ground beneath your feet, your own way to begin the conversation. Start with your own question. Give up on other people's questions. Don't let them smother something simple. To hear another's voice, follow your own voice. Wait until that voice becomes a private ear that can really listen to another. Start right now. Take a small step you can call your own. Don't follow someone else's heroics. Be humble and focused. Start close in. Don't mistake that other for your own. Start close in. Don't take the second step or the third. Start with the first thing close in, the step you don't want to take. We live in times that can overwhelm us by observing what we fear as the big picture. Start close in, the small part right in front of you. What are you afraid of? Write it down. Validate it or invalidate it. Start close in and move in measured, intentional steps. And know this. Divine presence keeps company with us in all of the events of our life. Trust it and deal with fear as soon as you recognize it. I'll end with a quote from Julian of Norwich, a 14th century mystic who is best known for her writings when she was near death with the Black Plague. 3 words. One we're all familiar with in unity. All is well. That, my friends, that's the big picture. It's the biggest picture of all. All is well. Let us hold the high vibration of compassion and love to anchor others and ourselves to peace in a world that has many more mysteries than answers. We can reclaim our peace in a fear-filled world. We can. And as we say at the end of every service, and that's the truth. And so it is. So, thank you. So now let's give an ear to Dedri as she prepares us for meditation. This meditation we're going to have, like I've been doing the last meditations that we do, we have 2 minutes of silent reflection during the meditation, allowing us to quietly engage divine presence within, and I invite you to do that. So if it's comfortable for you, close your eyes, take a deep cleansing breath. Rest your hands in your lap, relaxing your fingers and your hands. Release any tension in your face, shoulders, and legs. Take another deep cleansing breath. Your mind fits perfectly into this exact moment. Feel peace within you and all around you. Your body knows how to survive without you directing it. There is nothing you need to do this moment except to live. It is all done for you. Take another deep cleansing breath. Give yourself completely to your heart space. It is here that you connect to the energy of love that created you. There is no greater power than this connection. Sit in sacred silence and allow yourself to feel the presence in every cell of your body, in every thought that enters your mind. This is your place of safety and refuge. It is your internal heaven. You are filled with love and peace. You are love and peace. I invite you to bring yourself back to this moment with the power of knowing this heart place, this connection that is within you always. Go to it when you need to refresh yourself in the energy of divine connection. When you're ready, take a deep breath and open your eyes to this incredible life that is yours to live. So, Leslie mentioned that on Tuesday we have the Living Unity conversational gatherings. And Todd asked me if I would like to do that this Tuesday. And Ginger, if you could start. Because I'm a 5 on the Enneagram as well as equals 7, I get a lot of enthusiasm for information. So I'm passing out some information to invite you for 2 reasons. One, that you can review it from today's talk and kind of answer some questions that might help you go a little bit deeper in your own spiritual exploration. Or if you would like to join us on Tuesday evening, all you have to do is go to the newsletter and click on the link, and it'll take you right into the Zoom meeting. But we're going to be doing this thing that Ginger's passing out. There's some questions in there, and it gives you a chance to explore these questions before we get together on Tuesday if you join it. If not, just enjoy them in your own time. So, as always, thank you for letting me share with you this morning. I love being here with all of you, and I love all of you. Thanks.
Thank you, Patty, for your beautiful, beautiful message. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I thought we would sing, I can sing this one for you. This one is called There Is Nothing Like Peace. Here we go. It might not feel peaceful, though, when I start it. With this beautiful beat, here we go. There's nothing like feeling at peace, living peace, being peace. There's nothing like feeling at peace, living in peace, being peace. Sometimes I find myself straying, oh my Lord, life is pulling me down, life is pulling me down. Sometimes I find myself crying, oh my Lord, life is knocking me down, life is knocking me down. But then I stopped, deep breath, there's good all around me, God here inside of me, and I claim every day, right here, right now, I'm choosing peace. There's nothing like feeling at peace, living in peace, being peace. There's nothing like feeling at peace, living in peace, being peace. Here we go. Sometimes I find myself wondering, oh my Lord, life is pulling me down, life is pulling me down. Sometimes I find myself hurting, oh my Lord, life is knocking me down, life is knocking me down. But then I stop, deep breath, good all around me, God here inside of me, and I claim that every day, right here, not now, I'm choosing peace. There's nothing like feeling at peace, living in peace, being peace. There's nothing like feeling at peace, living in peace, being peace. And then I stop. There's nothing like feeling at peace, living in peace, being peace. There's nothing like feeling love, living in love, being love, joy. There's nothing like feeling joy, living in joy, being joy and peace. There's nothing